Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nayaka from the first speaker from the Prime Minister team, and today I will be debating this House will criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle. First, let me define some of the stuff in here. First, what is recycling? Recycling is converting waste into a reusable materials, and waste here is unusable product that already been used. Individuals here is every person who meet the criteria, and we are not only viewing some people but all individuals here. And organizations mean every organization, and not seeing what their purpose and what they're moving in. And to criminalize is to making someone into a criminal because if their activity is illegal. And ladies and gentlemen, as we know, trust is a huge problem that the world faces. There is many trash that are floating around in the ocean, and there is trash that are being piled mountains and mountains of trash in the landfills. And why I think trash is a huge problem, because trash could produce methane that could that is one of the greenhouse gases that could become into the atmosphere and could make global warming. And trash also disrupting the ecosystem in the sea. As we know, one of the worst example is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch that are floating in the ocean and disrupting the fishes, the marine ecosystem, and much more. And in today, I will bring four arguments. By criminalizing individuals and organizations who do not recycle, people will be more aware in doing recycling, pushing the creativity of people by having mandatory recycle. Nature and earth would heals, and it is good for the economy. First, by criminalizing individuals and organizations who do not recycle, people will be more aware in doing recycling. Because now recycling is mandatory, because if they don't recycle, they would be criminalized. And by that, people would be more responsible and more cautious in throwing out their trash. They would be conscious: should I throw this trash or can I recycle it? And if they decided to throw it anyway, but they can recycle it, they will be fine. And here, organizations will be more responsible in throwing out their trash, because as we know, big corporations now are producing massive amount of trash when they produce something, and they need to be held responsible for that activity. They could be more responsible if there is mandatory recycling. They wouldn't want to have their organizations be disbanded, right? So they need to do recycling. And by having mandatory recycle and criminalizing individuals and organizations who do not recycle, it will push the creativity of people. If recycling becomes mandatory, people and organizations would find creative innovations and inventions so that they could recycle. And we have many examples of this. For example, people start selling recycled paper from used paper, and wouldn't you know it, it's actually really good and nice looking. And organizations would create innovations and inventions. For example, when they ban CFC from going into the atmosphere, they restore to HFC, the alternate of CFC. And also companies and organizations such as Tesla are producing electric cars, and this is one of the examples of innovations and creativity that people can have. Can you imagine what creativity people would have if recycling become mandatory? And the third one, nature and earth would heals. The earth, as we know right now, is in a very bad condition. Why? Because it faces many problems such as climate change, melting ice caps, rising sea levels, much more. And our ecosystem here on Earth is not doing as good as the Earth is, because people start throwing out trash and litters in the oceans, in the land. The fishes are started eating microplastic, and it will in turn would have caused harm to us too. So when nature is damaged, we would be damaged. And when recycles become mandatory, people would throw less and less trash to the ocean and the land so that nature and earth would heal. And as I said, landfills are one of the main sources of methane. Methane is one of the gases. And when methane is reduced, global warming would become less worse. And the fourth one, it is good for the economy. Government wouldn't need to spend as much money as when they spend it on trash management when they are not recycling, because when people are recycling, trash would be lessened, and in turn trash management would be more easier to manage, and government wouldn't spend much money on it. And for this I propose two solutions. What individuals and organizations can do is recycle, and if they do not want to recycle, we as the government are going to fine them. For individuals who do not recycle, we will give 15 million rupiahs fine or 3 months jail time. And organizations who don't recycle would be fined for 50 million rupiah and have a warning. And if the organization receives 3 warnings, it would be disbanded. And I think this is reasonable. Why? Because people, individuals and organizations need to do recycle. But of course, this doesn't only come from the individuals and organizations as well. We as the government are going to provide some solutions too. We as the government are going to accommodate in order to help individuals and organizations to recycle. Some of the actions would be, so first, socialization, so that people are more aware of recycling. People would know how to recycle and why do they do it, and when they know why do they recycle, they would accept the law that have that already implemented. And also, we are going to push businesses who produce selling recycled goods, and we are going to push these businesses by giving them lessen their taxes for selling stuff, so that their product will be cheaper, because if this is like a recycled product, it is good for the environment. And now I would like to summarize my arguments and debate here. We as the government team would criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle, because by criminalizing individuals and organizations who don't recycle, people would be more aware in doing recycling, and it will push the creativity of people to recycle, and the earth and nature and the ecosystem would heal, and it is good for the economy. We have proposed solutions that we would define individuals and organizations who do not recycle, and we as the government are going to accommodate recycling. And I think that's all from me. Thank you.